Jeff Howard here at Kiteboarding.com, and we've got blog.kiteboarding.com. You want to find out some information? Don't miss blog.kiteboarding.com. It'll also go to your phone, your mobile device. Search it up, put it in there. You'll see you can get a lot of information. Right now what we're talking about is we're getting a lot of questions now starting the winter season and trying to decide on what kites to get, why a certain kite over another one, a foil over an inflatable. Will they work? Will they not work? And everything else. So I want to try to give you a little bit of description so it'll kind of help you on deciding what you want to do for the winter type season and can you get out there and do this. Now the great thing about snow kiting is it's unlike the water. You don't have to be on a plane. So if you want to ride on the snowboard or skis, taking up a smaller size kite is very simple when you're on the snow. So learning on the snow is very easy. And the reason is we can supply you with a smaller size kite and you can still have a really good amount of fun out there on the snow. So don't forget that. When you're out there normally on a kite you're riding, you ride a 12 meter maybe in the water, you could go way down to like a 7 meter, even a 6 meter or something like that, and you're still going to have a good day on the snow. Now, do you want more power? Sure. If you're going to start jumping and everything else and get out there and do what some of the guys are doing on the snow, then you want to have a little bit more power. But you do not have to have as much as you do on the water, so understand that point of it. That's one thing I want to let everybody know. Now, can you use inflatables or foils better or vice versa? Yes, you can use your inflatables. Inflatable side is having to deal with a situation. If you pump up in a parking lot, somewhere where it's nice and hard base, using a pump is doable. Now, remember, anything that's cold, what happens? Things shrink, things don't seal as well, etc. Valves on kites, when they're rubber, vinyl, plastic, they're going to have effects on them. When you're pulling those open and closing those things, there's going to be some effect. I've seen some of them rip when they're ice cold and it's freezing cold. See someone out there with their kite and they're pumping it up in the snow. The pump's down in the snow. It can be kind of a pain. Inflatable kites are perfect for the water. Will they work on the snow? Yes, they will. Now remember this, the higher aspect that inflatable kite is, the more difficult that is to get off of the snow. On the water, the goal for an inflatable kite is to keep its sail up. That's why it has inflatable members. Keeping the sail out of the water is what catches air and gets it relaunched off the water. Now, on the water, when you want to get that kite to roll back to help in the relaunch process, you can easily do that. So you have a higher aspect kite on the water by going swimming to it or floating toward it or whatever and hanging on to one wingtip. Usually the drag on the leading edge allows the kite to flip back and it relaunches easy. Not true on the snow. That's the most difficult part. The kite will continue sliding. It's very slick, it's a hard surface on a hard surface, and it will begin to slide and it's more difficult to relaunch off of the snow. Now, by pulling on one of the wingtips or having a very delta type shape or a swept back wingtips will make that kite relaunch easier. For instance, like a slingshot key or the rally or an F1 or something like that. Those are a little bit easier to relaunch off of the snow, mainly because of their shape. They want to rock up off of that snow and get a wingtip up. If you don't have that inflatable type kite and you're having problems relaunching, attaching a relaunch line to one of the struts, and usually it's the number 2 strut. Now, number 1 strut's in the center, number 2 is the next one out, and continued on. You can have it to number 2 strut if it's a 3 strut, or number 3 strut if it's a 5 strut kite. So remember that, hooking the line only to the tail, runs all the way down to the bar, and it sits there. Now, Nash has a relaunch line that will actually work and already does, and they have them for the water as well, but attaching a relaunch line will get that inflatable kite up. Now, the other side of the thing, foils. Why are there so many foils on backcountry type kiters or guys who adventure back in there? Big reason. You want to carry this back in the deep snow? You want to put this on the snowmobile, and I hope this doesn't break down when you get out there or have any kind of problems. If you lose it or whatever, you're done. So carrying all this stuff, here's a kite rig. This is an octane. I mean, you imagine carrying all of this, your bar, your pump, and you hope that it gets inflated and you don't have any problems out in that snow. Now the other side, here's an Ozone. Ozone has got the best foils on the market. This is an ultralight. It is amazing. You can see this pack. I don't need a pump. I'm not going to have any failures on this thing. That's a big part about going in the back country. We have guys who, hey, let's just grab our kites, throw them on the snowmobile, go find this pristine, beautiful area, pull out the foil, throw it out there, thing inflates itself, take off and ride. So the packability, putting it away, I mean, there's tons of room in here. This would be my pack for the day. I could actually put 2 kites in here in foil-wise and be ready to go ride. So as you can see, this and this could easily be packed into one, and I got 2 kites for the day. I have no pump. I don't need a pump. So that's one of the neatest benefits about foils. Now also foils, when you put a kite down on the snow, foil kites, once you grab their line and depower them, they will just lay down in the snow easily. You're staying straight there with your skis on. You start dealing with this, you'll understand what I'm talking about. You grab a line, you collapse the foil down, it sets on the snow, you put an anchor or a ski in the snow and put that line around it, and the kite will sit there and just be waiting for you and depower. Inflatable kites are not made for that. They were made to stand themselves up. So when they're downwind of you, they are always pulling. And they don't, that once you put them down on their nose, like if you put a water kite down on its nose and toward the wind and it sits there on the grass or the water, it's not doing that on the snow. It is sliding, and when it starts to slide, it'll want to rotate and start back up. So in an area that you can operate out of a parking lot or something, you can use an inflatable. Foils have definitely got an ease of use in them. It's so simple. You bring them down, they pack up, you wad them up, they inflate themselves. And if you get stuck out somewhere way out there, getting this kite down by yourself, wadding it up and shoving it in the backpack and skiing back out is a big benefit. So if you are a hardcore snow kiter and you're going to spend a lot of time doing it, I do recommend foils. I like foils myself, and the reason is the ease of use on the snow. I ski over, I throw my kite out, I unroll my lines with my skis on, grab my chicken loop, shake out the foil, it inflates and sets up, I'm gone and I'm off riding. So it's really neat. I've been out on a trip one time with Rob Whittle around at Skyline. It was a long way around a bowl, and I can only imagine if I was over there with an inflatable and I had any kind of problems or assert, I would have really been screwed, really. But I had a foil. We got over there in a pristine open area. It was so beautiful. I put the kite down, we sat there and hung out, and I put the kite back up. It was the foils, and it was fantastic. So there are benefits. Is one better over the other one? On the snow, I think the foil's better for personal use, only because of how it can pack down, and you can get it up in the air, you can pack out, you can put it on your back, ski to somewhere with the winds are blowing, put it up. If it's not, it's not. So a lot of guys will use the kite to take them up high. They'll basically collapse the kite, put it in a pack, and ski down. I mean, you can do it instantly with a foil. You are not doing it with this inflatable. It is a pain in the rear to pack everything up on the snow and everything else like that. So there is benefits to both sides, and getting out with an experienced rider in your local area and learning a little bit about it is what we highly recommend. Go to a school or something. That's Jeff Howard here at blog.kiteboarding.com to try to help you, educate you so you buy the right kite. Give us a call if you ever have any questions. We're happy to help and make sure that you get the right gear, not just what we have in stock. Thank you very much.